Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today to talk about some information that came my way, allegedly from someone in close proximity to the Kathleen Kennedy camp inside Lucasfilm. This individual claims to have the inside scoop on the Lucasfilm Civil War from Kennedy's perspective, alleging that Kennedy is actively seeking to sabotage Jon Favreau and kill the Mandalorian, and how the firing of Gina Carano was a first step to achieve those aims. While I do not know who this individual is in order to protect the source, my Hollywood spies vetted this person through a number of other contacts that have given us good information in the past and conversed directly with this individual at length regarding Kennedy and what went down behind the scenes in regard to Gina Carano. At this point, I must tell you that what I'm about to share with you is information I received that is allegedly from a Lucasfilm insider. But since I cannot independently verify this information, I must ask you to please consider all of this as unsubstantiated rumor and take it with a grain of salt. Initially, my agents asked the source why they decided to take the risky step of speaking out about Kennedy. The individual replied that internal resentment of Kennedy has been building for quite a while, but that the firing of Gina Carano was the last straw for this individual, as well as others in proximity to Kennedy. Allegedly, the resentment started out with small things that Kennedy did that rankled, but recently something went down in Kennedy's office that caused widespread anger, an incident that this source would not elaborate on, which nevertheless revealed that in Kennedy's world, you are only useful until you are not, at which point you become disposable. Why, my agents asked, didn't this individual leak this to a major news organization instead of to a evil supervillain? The source just laughed and then implied that any such leak would only get back to Kennedy, who apparently has lots of pull with mainstream media sources. At this point, my agents asked, when did Gina Carano become the focus of Kennedy's attention? The source replied, quote, well, I'd have to say not long after the first season of The Mandalorian. As I recall, the first time I knew Gina had Kathy's attention was after a party for the Mandalorian cast. After that party, Kennedy said she's going to be trouble, which was code for she has to go, unquote. To clarify, my agents asked this source, you mean Kathleen Kennedy herself said Gina Carano has to go? The source replied, quote, she didn't need to say it in those words. She's going to be trouble was code to go get her, and her team did just that, unquote. At first, Kennedy's team was reportedly fine with getting rid of Gina. However, this source claims the more Kennedy's people learned about Gina Carano, the more they liked her. But unfortunately, that didn't matter because Kennedy rules her team with an iron fist. And whenever people on the team were perceived as soft on Gina, they'd be reminded in many ways, quote, either fall in line or you're next, unquote. My agents then got at the heart of the issue, asking the source, when did Gina really get under Kathleen Kennedy's skin so much that she had to go? The source replied, quote, oh, that's easy. The first time #WeLoveGinaCarano trended on Twitter. When that happened, oh man, Gina was in Kathleen's crosshairs at that point, and it only got worse from there. But it wasn't just Gina, it was Jon and the show itself. Kennedy became a terror. She fired people on the spot for just talking about the show. Jon had made her out to be a fool, and she wasn't going to rest till she killed it, unquote. When asked exactly how Favreau made Kennedy a fool, the source alleged, quote, Kathy didn't just give The Mandalorian to Jon for the fun of it. She truly believed that Star Wars fans couldn't be made happy, and she had done what she set out to do, so she just walked away. So when the first season was a hit, this pissed her off. Then the second season did just as well, but what really, and I mean really, pushed her over the edge was the last 10 minutes of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale. That was Jon spitting in her face and calling her a no-talent hack, unquote. According to this source, after the return of Luke Skywalker, Kennedy said, quote, "I will take this motherfucker down," unquote, and that's what she has done. This source claims Kennedy greatly resents the fact that fans have rallied behind Jon Favreau, which is a clear repudiation of everything she has done at Lucasfilm. Asked if getting rid of Gina was all part of making Favreau look bad or sabotaging the show, the source replied, quote, "Mainly it was sabotage, and Gina was the first step, not the last. Kennedy's people are waiting for anyone on Jon's team to say anything they can use or lie about or take out of context. Kathy is loving this. The fact that fans are ready to abandon what Jon has started, the fact that fans want to go to war with Disney, this has gone better than she could have hoped for," unquote. When my agents asked this source why Kennedy is so motivated to do this, they replied, quote, "The fans rejected her. She hates them, although hate is not a strong enough word. She walked away from The Mandalorian, then someone came in and turned it around in one season of television, and then to top it off, it was a man. Trust me, that was bad enough. The Luke stuff just sent her over the edge. Now she's basically out to destroy Star Wars for the foreseeable future. My opinion, but trust me, she is not done. She's just getting started," unquote. Asked why it is that everyone at Disney seems to be willing to stand aside and just watch her do this, the source answered, quote, "Oh, they have tried to stop her, but she doesn't care. If they fire her, it's a win for her. They let her ride it out, that's a win too," unquote. At this point, my agents asked if the firing of Gina Carano was planned. The source replied, quote, "I can guarantee when she made that post and it was shown to Kathy, she smiled ear to ear. She knew she had Gina. She called her news source and worked out the worst possible headline. Next day it was in the face of one or both Bobs, and Bob or Bobs made a knee-jerk reaction, didn't look into it, didn't read it," unquote. From what this source said, Kennedy was ready to pull the trigger on getting the press to come down on Carano and framing her post in the worst possible light, knowing that anything to do with that particular period of history is a super hot button topic in Hollywood. So there you have it, my friends. This information allegedly comes from inside Lucasfilm, though again, I must clarify I have no way to verify any of this, nor do I state that any of it is true. I'm actually kind of stunned to think that this level of pettiness would be capable from someone so highly placed in Hollywood. All I can truthfully state is this is the information I was provided, and so I'm passing it on to you as is. But one thing seems fairly clear to me. Everything I'm hearing seems to suggest that yes, there is a civil war going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, and whereas it may once have been a Cold War, the firing of Gina Carano has turned the heat up, and these flames of conflict are poised to raze Star Wars to the ground. It is an upsetting thing indeed to hear that the fan backlash against Disney and The Mandalorian is playing right into Kennedy's hands, if this source is to be believed, and Jon Favreau is being caught in the crossfire, despite his support of Gina Carano and his Herculean attempts to save Star Wars. For my part, I don't know if Star Wars has any future left, but I tell you this, a house divided cannot stand. And if there is to be any hope of saving anything in regards to Star Wars, Disney needs to make a decision and stand by it. Jon Favreau is a very talented guy and a Star Wars fan himself, but he can't rescue Star Wars on his own. So Disney, if you want anything to survive your $4 billion investment, you had better help Jon Favreau out. And reaching out to Gina Carano would also be a really good thing, although I have the feeling she's moved on and will never look back. If you have any interest in protecting your investment, the time to act was yesterday. It may well be too late at this juncture, but I would hope you'd at least try. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, Stay angry.